Welcome to our podcast, This Life, the Chronicles of Autism Moms. I'm Alison and I'm joined each week by amazing women who happen to have children on the spectrum. We talk about navigating the ups and downs of parenting kids with autism and how that affected us and our lives as women, professionals and mothers. Strap in, grab some tissues. Sometimes you'll cry from empathy and others from laughter. Join us on our journey of this life.
And it could have been they just went to the bathroom, or they just went to a store, or they just went out on their own. He was like, no, we have to be together. So that threw me a bit because I didn't know how to deal with that, because I could see, and it's the first time I've kind of really seen major anxiety in him. But I also didn't really know how far to push him, because he was really upset about it. It wasn't just and he'd be at that kind of perseveration station where he would not, it's like, you know where they are, I've just told you where they are, but it wasn't, it's not enough for him. It was like, where are they? Oh, they're in the bathroom. Oh, they're in the shower. Oh, they've gone to the park. So you know where they've gone, but that next thought was, okay, they're fine, because they'll come back to us. I think it was the thought that they wouldn't come back, or there was something dangerous about it, or there was a safety or whatever. So it was really trying to understand how to navigate that, because, you know, with a group of us,
someone's gonna leave.
And also we'll go, you know, we can't just all go together just because you said. I didn't want him to have that level of control.
Sure.
Even to the point where I've got, obviously, you know, I have 3 children, so I've got a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, because they've just had their birthdays, and I've got a 9-year-old. So he's obviously in the middle. So I've got a 14-year-old who, at bedtime, so I don't know, Noah's bedtime would be like 9:30 at night, and in the holidays, and he would be like, right, everyone, you're all coming to bed now. And my eldest daughter's like, no, come on, I'm not going to bed yet. You know, she wants to stay up and watch Love Island or whatever's going on. And you know, it's like the eldest privilege on a break. And he's like, no, I'm just going to stay here. So he'd just sit there
and wait for her
and
to
wait. And I'm like, no, you're not waiting. You have to go, because and it wasn't because I didn't want him to say it. It's just like, I don't want him to have that level of control over his siblings. But equally, I was trying to be sympathetic because I was trying to understand what about that whole situation for him was an issue, whether or not it was just that he was worried, even though I am the mother and I am downstairs.
Yeah, like it's not your problem to worry about.
No, exactly. But I don't know, and I really don't think it's that, because I really don't think that, I mean, about his little sister, I don't think he really cares. I don't care anymore here.
Do you think his personality is like tied up with the, like he's like, they're all extensions of him, like they're like,
I never thought about
we have to move together.
Definitely.
Like, or
pack.
Like they're packed.
No, it's for real.
And it's hard to
maybe.
because I remember when we were little, and my brother, he would rent that time he used to have VCRs, and he would rent a movie, and we would always watch the movie together. And then one day he decided he'll watch it alone, because he was growing up, and we were devastated. I said, you watched the movie alone without us? And it was like he broke something. And
maybe.
And then something we have to get used to at one point in life, and maybe that's for your son. Maybe they are, because yes, we go to bed together. That's how it is.
I don't know.
It's
strange, because actually since we've been home from this vacation, he needs to go around to everybody's bedroom. Even like my eldest, he goes in and he's like, bedtime. It's like,
I can be like, lights out.
And it's like, you've become, like, the dynamic has changed here, and he's like, I don't know whether or not he thinks he's like the man of the house, or whether or not he's in charge, or whether or not he's checking. It's interesting, so I'd like to know more about what. So that's been quite a challenge, actually. It doesn't really sound like a challenge, but when you try to navigate
like every single situation,
exactly, but he can really upset the whole dynamic of a trip, because if he's stressed and angry, then it makes me sad, but it also really frustrates me, because it's like, we're just here, we're having a good time, and just because you cannot get over this, get past this, then everyone suffers in that situation.
I think it's one of those, like, I would say too many cooks, because it's not that, but it's just like there's a lot of people and you're trying to please everyone and want everyone to be happy and enjoy themselves on a holiday.
Well,
and that might look different from person to person. So, I have an only child, so when we go on certain trips, I won't say every single trip, but a lot of the trips, if he's with us, it ends up being a little bit focused on, not the big ones, but like the short trips, on the things that he likes. So he loves to go to zoos, he likes to go to these whatever. Yeah. So we end up doing these like activities.
The kid's happy, everyone's happy.
Exactly. But then it's kind of like sometimes as a parent, like exhausting, like, oh, I didn't really want to go to another zoo today, please. But I mean, actually, funny enough, I actually enjoy it, to be honest with you, but like when it's like every day you're running around just trying to get activity, it's kind of exhausting, because both of us are very like much homebodies, and we're very into our routines. And that's the issue I have, and I think he also has it. You get to a point where you're like, I need to go back. Because you just get, if it's a feel completely off.
It's out of sorts. You feel out of sorts.
And it's fine for some time, but towards the very end of that long trip, like I actually changed my flight and came back a week earlier than I was supposed to. And a big part of this is like balancing the thought of what am I going to go do in Doha in the mid of like August. Like the weather is horrific. But there was so many heat waves this summer, and when I left, it was in the middle of a heat wave. And in my country, like, yes, some people have ACs here and there, but it's not like as common. It's not centralized. It's in a couple of rooms, maybe, if you're lucky to have that. And it's like, it's hot here and there. You know, it'll be fine. And I was so happy I came back, because I needed time to get settled in the house. I had a lot of things to get done before school started, so it was perfect. However, I would have liked to have that first a few weeks just to stay in the nice weather. But it's just one of those things, like, do I stay in a place that has good weather, or do I come back and get settled? But that's another thing,
you're flexible. This is the thing. You're not like, oh, well, I booked my flight now, so I need to stay. You know, you've kind of got it in your head that you're fluid. You're like, okay, well, this is not working for me right now. It's not working for him.
Like, I don't think that extra week was going to add anything to my trip.
So it's not like, well, I need to stay here. Because it's just like, okay, well, we can move this around.
So as I was saying, my son and I are both, routine people. And I just kind of I think he was ready to come back way before we did. But again, I mean, there wasn't much of things to do here, being stuck in hot weather. Everyone was out of the country, so you cannot even socialize and stuff. So it's always like a price that, you have to pay. Sometimes I want to come back way before, that I did, but it was just one of these things where you have to pick one of two evils.
Right.
Really. But it kind of is,
Exactly.
But I did change the flight, and he was happy to even go with his dad, but we had a lot of work being done to the house, so his dad was super busy, had a few flights, so he wasn't able to take it back with him. But if it was up to him, I think he would have returned a lot earlier than
And why do you think that is?
Because he likes to be at home.
So he likes home and he likes the routine at home.
He does. And I think part of it is also when he's free, I like to not, of course, like everyone, I don't like that he's on screens all the time. But I think when he's home and I just let him be, which is something that I want him to do sometimes, he'll always end up choosing, a screen. However, at least at home, he also has toys and he has a few other options that he might not have while we're on vacation. Or maybe not have as much of a variety or whatever. So he's definitely one of these kids that likes to be at home. To do his thing. And he doesn't want someone to keep telling him what to do, what not to do.
Exactly. And
honestly, I hate being that person. I hate having I hate being put in that situation where I have to always be telling him what to do. It's kind of annoying, I think, for both of us.
What about you, Huma? Because you stayed for the break this year. So obviously you had 3 kids and you chose not to travel this break.
Yeah.
So in terms of entertaining them, in terms of, you know, the benefits, the pros and cons of that, apart from the first week where everyone's like super happy just to be getting up late and relaxing, I always find when I'm at home with my children, it's just a feeding frenzy. I don't understand what it is. It's just, even the feeding of them. It's everyone, for me, everyone can't eat at the same time unless it's breakfast, lunch, dinner. Everybody always wants a snack and at a different time. And nobody's happy all at the same time.
So for me,
that really pisses me off is the fact that everybody is it's like, can you just all choose a time to be upset or hungry? But
I can deal with it.
Exactly. I can't deal with all of you. So for you, you know, what have been the kind of the highs and the lows, and also what have you seen in your kids that, you know, you might not have noticed in that kind of daily routine of school and everything else once they've taken a break and stepped back? I've noticed quite a lot about all of my children, but especially Noah this summer. And also family have noticed quite a lot as well. You know, people that haven't seen them for a while. So what were the kind of highs and lows for you with Haida and, you know, being a teen at home during the break?
Well, what I've seen is that with time, I made a conscious decision. I think you made this decision after you've done your part, you've done your years of therapy, so you sort of earned that okay, I can take a step back. You know?
I love that. I love that. It's so true. It's like, I've done my time.
So I guess, you know, the newcomers, the new beginners, they don't have that luxury. You have to put in your time. You have to serve your sentence.
Us veterans.
Oh my God, that's a very depressing way to put it.
It's true. She's right.
But it's true. It is very true. I think with the experience
about it.
I think with the experience, like Huma was saying, you get to that point where you've done your best for years with whatever options are available. You come to the awareness that
you push for us as well every year, every break.
But you come to the awareness that you're not gonna always have everything available. You're gonna do the best you can with whatever you do have available, and that is enough.
And it's okay.
And that's okay. And it's enough, and it's okay. It is enough, and it's okay.
Yeah, that's the thing that I felt that, okay, after all these years, I mean, you know, us parents and mothers especially, because mostly it's the mothers who are doing this task of, you know, the therapy and all this.
So, in most cases.
So
just for any dads out there. No, I do it all.
So I kind of feel like there's always one person taking the charge. Maybe usually it's the woman, but it depends on the couple. And then the other person is usually
step back.
So
in denial.
So you still, you have to be. You're still on the go that you have to push your kid to the finishing line, and you keep on doing this. But a point comes when you burn out.
When you're like, there's no finish line. This is autism.
It starts affecting you, and you don't realize it. You don't realize that it starts affecting your personality, and it causes the stress level stays. But we're women. We're supposed to push through. Just push through the pain.
It's like
So we keep on doing it till we and I've noticed that it started affecting my personality. I was short-tempered. I would snap. I would be bitchy. I would then it affected my personality with my relationship with the kids. And I was like, this. And I could be much nicer to a stranger's child because I know that is.
That child, pressure.
Yes, and he's not my responsibility. I can be nice to him for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But with my kids, I had all these, things and expectations and external expectations and pressure. And I was like, so I was like, I need to step back and give myself a break, give them a break, and also defend myself against all those expectations that, are you doing enough? Did you do this? What are you going to do with the kids? Have you anything planned? So the external
the pressure, the societal pressure that comes with that, of what you should be doing versus what you think you should be doing.
So I had to be confident about that listen, for the first time in my life, I've started saying I'm tired. Like when I'm asked that, oh, why can't you have a normal conversation with me, or why can't you do this? I'm like, I'm tired. I'm tired, So I do that, and I own it, and I still
shut it down.
I think it's one of these things where it's so easy when you're the person dealing with all of this, even if you're not actually doing something, just thinking about it all the time, trying to figure out what to do. It's so easy to get sucked by all of it, where you kind of sort of lose yourself as well a little bit, and then you dedicate all your energy and time, and you only have so much energy and so much time in a day, where it's very easy to burn out. And once you're in that stage, you need a lot of self-love to kind of recover and get to a point, because it's normal. It's a normal human behavior for you to maybe snap or be triggered by your kids because they're your kids, and it's just absolutely normal. But that's also because you are extremely burnt out
and you're under pressure. You put pressure on yourself to get stuff done.
Definitely, because no one's gonna fight for your kid more than
not
you.
The normal
just
stuff. This is the heavy stuff.
Right?
This is another layer.
On top of the normal stuff.
Exactly.
So it's not separate from that, but it's just on top of everything else.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel
there's a time frame. You feel the pressure of a time frame. I think
definitely.
You've got to, when they're younger, you've got to get this done. You've got to get that done. And that's why I'm talking about us being veterans, because now
with the experience, you have, like Huma said, that luxury of remembering that you're human and they're human, and we're not perfect. We're imperfectly perfect, and it's just you do your best. And when you're tired and you need to rest and not do and just be, you take that time for yourself.
You do a Huma. I'm tired.
I was talking to my mom.
You do that, and then you move along, and you get your energy back up again, and then you go at it again.
What were you saying to your mom?
I was talking to my mom, and my parents are of that generation that they believe that if you praise a child, the child will be spoiled. So they never. They're lovely parents, but they never praised us that, oh, good job, or anything. I don't know. I don't remember much. The guests, if the guests come home, they would start, look at my daughter. Just
they're bragging about their kids.
No, they're not bragging. They're doing the opposite.
Okay.
I said, Mama, why do you have to say that in front of the guests? So they put us down instead of building us up. I said, why don't you learn from that? Other ladies, look, when we come, they're my daughters are the best. They do this, and I'm just learn from her. Why do you have to?
So funny that
you're saying down like this. So that is the South Asian mentality, I guess. So they were of that, and we tested our parents also. So one day I was just in a bad mood, and usually I never talk about this stuff with my parents. They're far away. I don't want to put them under any pressure or anything. I was talking to my mother, and it's Mama, were we this difficult? Because I was done that day. I was was it this difficult? And then, she was oh, Huma, I think about you, she's sitting over there, and she's oh, I think about you. And I'm she's used the word afreen. Afreen means in awe or something, in praises.
Aww. That's so sweet.
Aww. She's in awe of what you do for your kids and what you take on.
She's never said that. I don't know whether it's the age or.
But she sees you, Huma. She sees you, and she sees.
She said that for the first time. She's oh, I sit there and I think, what you're doing, and I'm suddenly I had tears, and I'm oh. I said, oh, she's never said that, and I never felt that. But it felt nice to hear.
Because she sees you, and she
exactly.
It's the
validation.
You recognize
and from your mom, out of
and
all people.
I'm
so special.
I'm oh,
Did that give you a boost? Did that make you feel
It felt really nice, but it also felt, you still, because you're also in that mode all the time that, oh, you're not doing enough. So I'm I still, even now, I don't believe her. I'm oh, Ma, if you take that praise, you'll become lazy. So just take a pinch of it, but don't take
I
it.
can't revel in it. I can't
Yeah.
accept all of that because that would make me stop.
Yeah, like I can't say that, oh yeah, it's done.
I'm done. This is never done.
I think it's such a good feeling to be validated, but I think you will always, not to focus on the negative or the struggles that kids have, but you will always notice things nobody else does, and that might, either worry you or put you in like kind of call to action, get something done about whatever.
Yeah.
Just kind of like
we're always on alert.
attitude.
Well,
yeah, you are because you're
We're
analyzing like every word and every move and every situation,
Yeah.
which you don't need to kind of like go about it that way.
I think we always celebrate. We always celebrate. So, for example, I was just talking about Noah's the senses are coming. His awareness of the situation. Is great, but we don't sit and go, that's like great, It's like, okay, what's the next thing?
Yeah.
And how do we deal with that? And how do we? And then with that, as he's growing, we're recognizing that, he's aware now, which is great, which is better than not being aware.
Mm-hmm.
But along with that, it comes with another set of problems and issues and things to navigate and things I need to learn about quickly.
Yeah.
So I know how to deal with them really, really fast because I don't want to mess it up even more by reacting differently. Because I wouldn't necessarily deal with that situation with one of my girls in the same way, because if they did that, I'd be like, do you know what? Just go to bed. Because listen, hear me, you're younger, you're going to be tired tomorrow, go to bed. Can't have that conversation with him. Because there's no reasoning there. So I know there's no reasoning with a lot of our children, and often with my girls there's not a lot of reasoning, but it's different. And
honestly, not to make that like or other things sound worse than that or anything, but I want to say both ways something is just going to be difficult. So you might not have to reason, which is difficult, and you have to figure out how to navigate. But also the opposite of that.
Too much talking.
And having to explain and discuss and negotiate and bargain over every little request that you ask of them all day, every day, whether it's like, go to change your clothes, take a shower, brush your teeth. Like when it's down to like every single thing,
I think
it's also exhausting.
Exactly, but it's an intensified conversation, that
never ends.
at either level. So it's either nothing, no conversation. So you can't have that. So you're kind of standing your ground, but not having. You're anticipating what they would say or what they are thinking. Or on the other side, you've got somebody that is like a war and peace situation. It's like so intense.
Yes.
And there's no middle ground, right? We're either at one end of the scale or the other.
Yeah. Do you feel, I mean, I look at the kids and I feel they're, and I know it's not like that, but I feel, they're one-dimensional. If they're upset, they will tell me. If they're happy, they will tell me. And I know it's not like that. I mean, when I was their age, when I was 14 or even 10, you have all these complex thoughts with, you're happy, you're depressed, you're jealous, you're rejected, you're under peer pressure, and so you have a lot of these things. And sometimes I worry about them, and I ask my kids, just like running around the day, are you guys okay? Are you happy? They'll be like, yeah. And I remember I used to do the same thing, when I would come home from school, the parents would ask me, how was the day? Fine, even though I would have a horrible day in school. Or how was the exam? Fine, even though I knew I was going to flunk it, I was like, why tell them now? Let's wait till why should I know like this month?
And I think part of it is something I heard, sorry to interrupt you, but like very quickly, where they say you shouldn't ask kids, like when you pick them up from school, you shouldn't be asking them, how was your day and all of that, and you should kind of like focus more on like, oh, I've missed you, so good to see you, kind of thing, where you don't like